Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance Podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I've asked this question before, but I wonder if I could get in trouble for only saying ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of the few who will firmly state that there are two genders. I'm not one of the few. Shouldn't say that. There's this illusion that we're not allowed to talk about gender. And everybody's so up in arms about it. I'm watching this fight thing take place. And I think to myself, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, most people don't know what I'm talking about. Some people can follow along because I tend to drag on my sentences. This Algerian boxer. Is she a male? Is she a female? I like the topic because it allows people to communicate in a fascinating way. Liberals, for example, are defending this woman's right to beat the other woman who felt the victim. And now we're watching people defend her, because she has strict rules of LGBT in her country. She's not free. We're raising awareness of non-free. But she beat a woman who wanted to quit. And I look at this and I think to myself, okay, this is the perfect. And I know more of these are going to come. But this is the perfect time for everyone to say, I don't stand firmly on anything and I have the ability to think for myself. Because so many people are saying that what she did was okay. And so many people are saying that it's not. And I don't even know how to put this. The defining factors are altering in the minds of liberals. I hate saying liberals. I don't like using these titles. I will say the blue-haireds, because there's a collective of people who social justice warriors, I think, is a healthy term for them. They want the world to understand that they are right and virtuous, wherein the majority of people operate their lives based on integrity. And when you operate from integrity, you don't need to be anything other than yourself. We don't need to attack this woman for being a man. We don't need to attack this woman for being a trans. We don't need to attack anyone for anything. We need to have an open conversation. And I think that this is one of the closest positions that we've ever been in to have this conversation. When you've got the liberal left saying, once again, genitalia, she was born with a vagina. In the same breath, genitalia doesn't define or determine your sex. How come people aren't focused on themselves? Understanding who they are, understanding where we are, understanding the situation that we're in, understanding the world and reality in which we inhabit. Why are we more focused on the distraction? Why are we more focused on what it is that they're handing to us for us to argue over? The other one too is the Canadian that threw up all over the place because they were forced to swim in some sort of thing. And the Olympics, too. We're supposed to be at war with everybody, aren't we? Isn't everybody at war? Isn't that the whole thing? We're all fighting. Fight. We must fight. We must be at war. We must be distracted by bombs. What's the truth? How come we can be at war with all these wonderful countries, yet for a quick second we put it on hold and we all come together Olympically? What the fuck was with the blue Smurf at the beginning of the Olympics? How come people defend this? There are people out there that are completely oblivious to the Olympics. They're completely oblivious to the world. They're completely oblivious to all this sort of stuff. And there's a happiness, a peace involved in, I guess, that level of nonchalantness. And I aspire to live there. And for the most part, I do. Because I'm not tied up in, is she a man? Is she a woman? I'm not tied up in this bullshit. I'm more interested in the depth of it. I'm more interested in how come people can say one thing that suits them and then they switch up to another thing when it suits them as well. How come people are so hell-bent on attacking me, proving me wrong, or wanting to be right? How come there needs to be a good and an evil, a right and a wrong? How come we don't sit back and go, who's directing traffic here? How do I fit into the traffic as it's being directed? There's so much about this that just blows me away. And I sit back and I think to myself, it's crazy to think that this is anything but intentional division, an existential version of intentional division. Which brings me back to one of the main talking points on this show. How do I define who and what and where I am? How do I define division? How do I define division versus unity? How do I find out who I am? What are my metrics? I know I weigh as much as I weigh. I know I'm as tall as I am. I know I have my definitive marks on my body. I know that I have thinning hair, which is sad, but I have a really long beard and I've shaved my head bald. So I owned that. Why is there an entire line of products virtually? Imagine this. Imagine every single woman in the world woke up tomorrow and loved her body and self. Imagine how many companies would go out of business. So imagine how many companies are in business. Imagine how much business the business is of making you feel like shit. Making you not feel as good as the supermodels. There's somebody out there telling you what's cool, what's popular, what's fun, what's fresh, what's hip. There's somebody telling you that you're morbidly obese compared to what? Says who? An industry that's lied to us since birth. An industry that wants to shoot you full of all kinds of crap because of some made up tripe. Why do we believe this shit? Why do we sit back and why do we accept what we've been told? Why in Canada do we pay an arm and a leg fucking for taxes? Where they just hand the money over to Ukraine and nobody even billed us or asked us or said anything. But if you don't pay the taxes, you fucking go to jail. If you don't fork over all of your money, you go to jail. And you know what jail is? That's free room and board. But there's an image of jail that's terrifying. People do what they're told. People blindly do what they're told. Is this a bad thing? No, it's not. It exists for you to understand that it doesn't need to be the way that you think it needs to be. It exists for you to understand that the fucking lineage of absurdity, the litany of absurdity that runs through the standard focal point of how we operate our lives as human beings is mind-numbingly ludicrous. So when we get past that, we have to see the absurdity to get past the absurdity. And when you truly get past the absurdity, walls all over the place start crumbling. There are people out there that want to fight over this dude named Iman. You know, there's images, there's lineage, there's history to this fight. And it's not just this broad. It's what about that Hawk Tua? Remember when Hawk Tua was a huge thing? Hawk Tua showed up, and as soon as I saw her, I'm like, this broad's going to be the next big thing. And now what? We're completely bored of her, but she's got her own sitcom or some shit, right? Who knows? Who knows how we define what we need it to be, other than its contrast for us to see who and what we are as we progress through this strange and beautiful lies. What song was that? Before Blue Rodeo. Very good. I look at the whole thing, and yeah, I mean, everyone can talk about taking a side. But how many of us are using this as a distraction? Our lives aren't where we want them to be, so we're going to fight with other people about certain things, as opposed to having open conversation. And again, where does the open conversation happen? Right? Because the internet has tried to unify everybody. But what has it done? It's driven a wedge. And what is it doing right now? Inventing artificial intelligent friends for us to hang out with. Now, I'll tell you this, AI is a wild beast. You know, people are talking about, I love that meme. It's like John Connor sitting around watching all of you get super friendly with Skynet. I think that's hilarious. But I had a business. I had a small business, a little offshoot. I love writing. I am a huge fan of creative writing. And I had a small business that was basically $3-4 grand a month, writing copy for coaching websites and writing short stories for people. However, it worked out. As soon as AI or ChatGPT or whatever it was officially rolled out, within 2 or 3 weeks, half of the business was gone. Within 2 months, 100% of my copywriting business was gone. And what am I supposed to do? Be upset about it? I don't think so. It sucks, sure, but use it for what it is. Understand and comprehend what and how I'm supposed to truly operate. Take the time to maybe utilize AI to earn some money back, which we've done. And which I'm excited for. Because what it means is now we can help other people create certain things because of our style, because of how we talk to the chatbots, because of how we understand AI. We're able to create and fabricate new and fun and wonderful things. At one point in my life, I would have said absolutely not to AI. There's no way I would have gone into it. But then it's like, okay, well, if I don't stand firmly on this, there are other things I can do. I have 2 of the smallest dogs. Now, through a friend, I'm dog sitting for the next couple of days. And I think it's hilarious. I've been around these dogs long enough now to sort of understand their habits. And I was recording and I'm looking over like, this dog looks like she's going to shit in the house. Can't have that. So I followed her, understood it, read her signs and her languages, brought her out for a big poop. Oh, who thought I'd be talking about dog poops on this podcast? Anything's open for it. And thankfully, with the magic of editing, you won't even know how long I was gone for. And I'm going to leave this in because why not? I could edit this out, but yeah, you know what? We're going to learn about dog poops today. Little Chihuahua mixes. I'm again 6'2", 280 pounds, big beard, shaved head, tiny dog. Yeah, I'm one of those guys now. Well, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with I fell in love with the tiny dogs. You can't. They're just the cutest little things. Truth be told. Anyway, AI. Do you get angry about AI and alter your life for it? Well, no. I mean, I had to sort of overcome and figure it out. Now we're having a lot of fun with it. 2 things that we're doing really well with AI is creating super intense blog posts, really, really timed blog posts, understanding how to communicate with AI in such a way that derives great content. It's 50% you and 50% your story and 50% filled in with AI. You can knock out your work in 4 times, 5 times as fast. If not even more. It's beautiful. It's stunning. That's a service that we offer too. If you have a website and you want way more traffic drawn to it, create a blog. Start a blog, use AI to write the blog. If you don't or aren't, inclined to do so, you can hire us. I don't know what it is right now. I know what it's going up to, but I think it's around $200 a month, I think, for 2 posts a week. So 8 to 10 blog posts a month. Fully engaging posts that are going to have people come to your website, check you out. On top of that, constantly updating your website, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in business, this is a good piece of information. If you have a blog or the ability to put a blog on your website, you are constantly updating your website, which the Google crawlers, web crawlers, they love that shit. They love seeing the website constantly being updated and added to and used. It just shows that it's, high traffic, high quantity, high quality website. Little tip, if you want more traffic, add a blog. If you don't want to do any of that work, talk to us. We'll do it for you. You can hit us up, info@thementalmasteryalliance.com. You can go to thementalmasteryalliance.com and just click on the thing. It's in our offerings, somewhere in the menu. Haven't looked at the webpage in a minute, but I should because we talk about web pages and I haven't played with mine in too long. Anyway, AI is fantastic. We're also doing biographies. There's a lot of people, if you're in real estate or if you're in any form of business, people hand out a business card. One of the most phenomenal things that you can do, though, is hand out a book. And if you're a published author, we do ghostwriting and publishing for you. Typically, that's $15,000. We're doing it right now for the first 10 people for $3,000. So it's $29.97. And that is ghostwriting a book for you, your autobiography, with all kinds of great marketing and tools and stuff like that inside it, written inside it to be lead gen and captivating for you to make you stand out. We're doing it for $3,000 for the first 10 people. We might be at capacity. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say this right now. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this episode because it's live and it can go forward. Once the first 10 is gone, the next 10 will be, I believe, $6,000. And then after that, permanently, it's going to be like basically half price. So I think $75 or $8,000 to have the ghost written book for you and published. And that is the turnaround time for that so far has been 3 or 4 months. So 90 days ish on turnaround time since we've actually started offering this en masse. And we're doing it in small increments because we don't want to be overwhelmed and we don't want to screw up. We want your book to be stunning, beautiful, and perfect. Yeah. So also, too, with this, why I'm talking about this a little bit later on is because I don't really want to captivate on the popularity of this boxer thing. Like, it's not even going to be in the title. It's just going to be observations is in the title. But she's a keen one to have. This individual exists as, like I said, as a, not this individual, but the story of this individual. And this is one thing that a lot of people don't quite grasp yet is what we think we're looking at as with regards to the person. It potentially is a thing, but it's also not. There's the person, the entity. There's me, right? Prime example. I exist. Here I am. I'm existing. La la la. This is me existing. But the version of me that exists inside your head is the version that you need me to be. It's not me. There's no version of me. There's no two versions of me that are the same. Every single person that knows me views me through their own layers of trauma, evolution, however you want to do it. How I view myself, the person that I need to defend my character. I don't need to defend my character. I just am my character. That person exists in my head as who I am. And that's not always the way they are. Like I said, there are no two versions of you in anyone's head anywhere. So when we talk about this one person, the idea of who she is, you hear people talking about her, it's the ability to reflect. So it's a moment in time. The Haktua girl was a moment in time. Remember last year or the year before? You know what, honestly, 2019 to 2024 has 5 years have been a wild blur. It's almost like they don't even really fully exist because everything's changed so much and our brains don't have the ability to properly process and compute what exactly it is that we fucking live through. But there, I don't know, so whatever year it was, there was the guy that had the Fleetwood Mac playing in the background. He was just skateboarding down the street. And that guy went ultra viral as well. Those are fun. To me, I think that they're, again, orchestrated. I think that it's something for us to hum and haw talk about, piddle and paddle about, while we avoid whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing in our lives. So many people want to fight. I mean, there's so many things inside my head when I have these podcasts, when I do these episodes, so many things fly through my head, man. Anyway, I'm not sure when I'm going to air this one, so I don't know what date it is today, but I do know that this was a really fun episode to record. I do know that you guys are awesome, and I do know that if you want any writing done, reach out to us. We are really good at it. We can write just like you. If you're creating a small business and you need a hand, we are way cheaper than everybody else because the idea is we got ripped off. We got ripped off and burned all the way through. Every single fucking mistake we ever made was a lesson when we started, when we got going. And what we want to do is work with you just like we wished somebody was going to work with us. So there's no catch, there's no gimmick, there's no bullshit. It's if you want it done, if you want it done right, and if you want to talk to somebody who understands what's going on, info at the Mental Mastery Alliance. We're here to help you get your shit together. You want to get yourself up. You want to get your speaking engagement and your career started. We have all kinds of ways to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this episode was fun for you. We were kind of prattling and rambling about a lot of stuff, but there's just shit that I wanted to get off my chest and ideas that I was sort of just dabbling with. It's the dog days of summer. We don't put too many episodes out in the summer because we're super busy. Having fun and going to concerts and enjoying the heat, as we all know in Canada, you don't get that too often. When wintertime rolls around, we're certainly more in depth. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.